50 years ago, humans first set foot on the moon. An incredible achievement, right? Neil Armstrong's famous words, "One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind," are etched into history. But what if there's more to the story? What if the official narrative is missing a few crucial, terrifying details? Today, we're rediving into one of the most chilling mysteries of the space age. What did Neil Armstrong really see up there on the lunar surface? The story begins on July 20th, 1969. The world held its breath as Apollo 11 descended. But during the final moments of the landing, something strange happened. For 2 whole minutes, all communication between the lunar module and NASA's mission control went silent. Complete radio silence. NASA later brushed this off as a simple technical glitch, a system overload. But amateur radio operators who were tracking the mission claimed they heard something else entirely, something that was deliberately cut from the public broadcast. According to these claims, Armstrong's voice wasn't calm and collected. It was frantic, filled with a sense of urgency and disbelief. He was allegedly reporting seeing something, or someone, watching them. The transmission, which has since become the stuff of legend, supposedly went something like this. "These things are huge, sir, enormous. Oh my God, you wouldn't believe it. I'm telling you, there are other spacecraft out here lined up on the far side of the crater's edge. They're on the moon, watching us." Imagine that for a second. You're the first human being to step onto another world, a place thought to be completely desolate and lifeless. You look up, and across a crater, you see ships, not human ships, something alien, something that has been there long before you arrived. The sheer terror of that moment is hard to comprehend. Was this what caused the 2-minute blackout? Was NASA scrambling to censor a discovery that would change humanity forever? The theory gained even more traction thanks to a man named Otto Binder, a former NASA employee. He publicly stated that he had personally heard the suppressed radio transmission. He claimed that mission control was in a state of panic. "You're trying to decide whether to tell the astronauts to abort the mission immediately. The idea is that they couldn't risk a public panic or an interstellar incident. So, the order was given. Proceed with the mission as planned, but say nothing about what you've seen." This brings us to the behavior of the astronauts after they returned to Earth. You'd expect them to be jubilant, right? Heroes returning from the greatest adventure in human history. Yet, many observers noted that Armstrong, Aldrin, and Collins seemed distant, reserved, almost haunted. Armstrong, in particular, became notoriously reclusive. He rarely gave interviews and shied away from the public spotlight. Was he simply a private person, overwhelmed by fame, or was he burdened by a secret he was sworn never to reveal? Think about it. If you had seen undeniable proof of intelligent alien life, and you were told to lie about it for the rest of your life, how would that affect you? Every time you looked up at the moon, you'd know the truth. You'd know that we are not alone, and that whatever is out there was watching us make our first clumsy steps into the cosmos. There are more pieces to this puzzle. Professor Vladimir Azaza, a Russian physicist and UFO researcher, claimed that the encounter was real and well documented by Soviet intelligence. He alleged that Armstrong's message was intercepted and that it clearly stated, "We were warned off." The implication is that the aliens, whoever they were, made it clear that the moon was their territory. Don't come back. And did we go back? Well, yes, but only for a very short period. The Apollo program, the pinnacle of human exploration, was abruptly cancelled after Apollo 17 in 1972. We had the technology, the will, and the public support. So why stop? The official reasons were budget cuts and a shift in public interest. But conspiracy theorists argue the real reason was far more sinister. We stopped going because we were told to. We were scared away. For over 50 years, no human has set foot on the moon since. Does that sound like a natural progression of exploration to you? Let's go back to the surface of the moon itself. During the Apollo 11 EVA or extravehicular activity, there are some strange moments in the official footage. At one point, Buzz Aldrin is filmed planting the American flag. He seems to be struggling with it, and as he moves, the camera pans slightly. For a split second, a strange, glowing object appears to move in the distance. It's blurry, and it's gone in an instant. A lens flare, a reflection, or a glimpse of one of those other spacecraft Armstrong supposedly reported. Another piece of evidence often cited is a specific photograph from the Apollo 11 mission, catalog number AS114059003. It's a famous shot of Buzz Aldrin on the lunar surface. But if you look closely at the reflection in his helmet's visor, you can see Neil Armstrong taking the picture, the lunar module, and something else, a strange, angular shape that doesn't seem to belong. Skeptics dismiss it as just a distorted reflection of the lander's equipment, but others believe it's the reflection of an alien structure on the moon, a building. The story doesn't end there. In the years following the Apollo missions, several other astronauts have made cryptic comments hinting at the existence of extraterrestrial life. Dr. Edgar Mitchell, the sixth man to walk on the moon during the Apollo 14 mission, was very outspoken. He claimed, on numerous occasions, that he was 90% sure that many of the thousands of UFOs recorded since the 1940s belonged to visitors from other planets. He also insisted that governments around the world were actively involved in the cover-up. Gordon Cooper, another astronaut, testified before the United Nations that he had personally witnessed UFOs and believed they were of extraterrestrial origin. These aren't just random people on the internet. These are highly trained, highly respected pilots and scientists who have been to space. Why would they risk their reputations to talk about this? Perhaps because they feel the public has a right to know the truth. So, let's try to piece it all together. Armstrong and Aldrin land on the moon. As they prepare to step outside, they see something that shouldn't be there. Massive, non-human spacecraft observing them from a crater rim. Armstrong frantically reports this to a shocked mission control. NASA, fearing global panic or a hostile reaction, cuts the public feed for 2 minutes while they order Armstrong to keep quiet and continue the mission. The astronauts complete their tasks, but they are forever changed by what they saw. The secret is kept. The Apollo program is quietly shut down, and humanity is effectively grounded, scared away from its own celestial backyard. Is it just a wild story? A campfire tale for the space age? Maybe. The official explanation for everything, the radio silence, the reclusive behavior, the cancelled program, is plausible, but it's not the only explanation. The universe is a vast, ancient, and mysterious place. To assume that we are the only intelligent life within it is, perhaps, the most arrogant assumption of all. What if those structures and ships are still there, silently waiting in the dark, watching our planet? What if the moon isn't a dead rock, but an observation post, a silent sentinel in our sky? The next time you look up at that beautiful, silver disk in the night sky, remember this story. Remember the 2 minutes of silence, the strange reflections, and the haunted look in the eyes of the first men who walked there. And ask yourself, what really happened on the moon? What did Neil Armstrong see? And why have we never gone back? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this dive into the unknown, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more mysteries. See you next time.